podcast hosted by yours truly, Siobhan Higgins, sports psychology consultant and professional soccer player. If you tuned into last week's episode with Jay Coleman, you would know that he's going to be sitting on the couch right now. We are going to continue conversation on life coaching, basketball coaching, and entrepreneurship from our special guest today, Mr. Jay Coleman. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
And it's Friday for us.
It's Friday.
But happy Thursday to the listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jay, if you, last episode, we kind of spoke about a lot of things. A lot of things, Jay, a lot of things where you came from, your roots. But today, we're going to tune into how you got to where you are today. So today is more of how you attribute playing basketball. Jay's told this to me before, but that once all you knew was ball, and once athletes finish their sport, what do? We have an identity crisis. If all you know is your sport, what do you do when it's over? Whether that be from injury, whether that be from, I don't know, it's just time to hang up the boots, hang up the shoes. We're going to talk about transitioning out of sport and into the business world. And so wherever you'd like to get started, my first question really is, what did that transition period look like for you? Why did your basketball career end?
My career in terms of an athlete was over due to injury.
Okay.
Injury and then just circumstance, right? I mean, once you're no longer relevant in a certain way in athletics, there are younger guys every single year that are bigger, better, cheaper. And then in the business of basketball, where it's very selective and competitive, it's also like you're not in that particular race anymore. It's very, very competitive. So it's just hard to be noticed after a while. The competition is fierce. It's like a lotto in a way.
Yeah.
And so for us, you have to be politically in tuned to on top of skill, to find a lot of success. And I think those that do a great job of managing personnel and team or people around them in terms of agency and relationships, GMs, ownership, whether it be overseas, NBA pro, I think those are the players that thrive in terms of longevity. I think that professionals that understand how to conduct themselves as professionals and understand the reality of where they currently are. I'm getting older, so now let me put my eggs in the basket of team captain, leadership, locker room guy, morale guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy that can be the energy person off the bench.
Yeah.
Or I never get in the game, but I'm going to make sure that the guys around me are motivated by my energy, and I'm going to clap the hardest, and those are the team players that have a lot of longevity in this sport that are more so struggling athletes. LeBron can play as long as LeBron wants to play, and he'll continue to get old, but his name, his brand is so dominant that he doesn't have to worry about what the last guy on the bench has to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
And so when it comes to job security, there are other things that you have to factor in. And that is something that's not taught in the sport at an early age. You're taught to be competitive. You're taught to dominate your group, your demographic, be the best that you can, and then you score points, and you go to this trainer, that trainer, and you're working on attributes and skill level, and it's cool. But again, no one really talks about the intangibles that actually keep you in existence in sports, which is why as a coach, I try to focus on some of those things, even with 13, 14-year-olds, because I totally get that, my kids are blue collar kids. Okay. I don't have any big time horses. I have some guys that could probably play D1 and beyond. But right now I got a lot of guys that are kind of learning themselves and figuring out who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm also teaching them how to be politically based at the same time, even at the age of 14.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that's going to make a coach say, you know what, I want to keep him around.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you bringing more?
So for me, and just in my personal life, I didn't have a well-balanced circumstance in terms of being a great player, but then also being a great business person within basketball.
Yeah.
So when it was over, it was over. And then life comes very, very fast.
Yeah. Especially if your career is stopped or paused due to injury.
Sure.
It's because for me, I do sports psychology consulting, and I'm taught to teach athletes to identify as more things other than just being an athlete. Mm-hmm. And for me, I learned that, I want to say in college before I even got into my master's program, but just because I had other hobbies. I like to read, I like to write, I like, yoga, I'm an instructor now, just little things that I would, advise other athletes to tap into something else that you're good at other than your sport. Not because you're anticipating that day, but you do realistically need to be prepared for the day where that sport is no longer there, because injury, especially career-ending injuries, is part of your sport. That is a risk that you take when you're playing your sport. We need to figure out who Jay is beyond basketball, who Siobhan 100%. Is beyond soccer. Otherwise, you're stuck. And so for you, whenever ball was over, what did you do? What was your next step?
Honestly, depression.
Yeah. Which is very common.
Immediate. Mm. I wish that I knew then what I know now about myself.
Yeah. Don't we always?
It took a lot of trial and error, throwing darts, trying to figure out what I had. For me, it was sports. That's it. Mm-hmm. And then when it ends, it's brutal, actually, because there are a lot of things that play a part in the ending of sports life.
Yeah.
And you're right. It doesn't have to really just come down to injury. I mean, sometimes in this business, you just don't make it.
Yeah, you don't make it.
And then,
or you have a family.
Yeah,
suddenly, maybe.
It's just you have to make decisions. And it's tough because a lot of guys and women athletes as well, it's just kind of like, now what? Like you said, having something to fall back on is massive. And I would really encourage athletes to figure out who they are while in season.
Yes.
While you have contracts, while you have things flowing. Don't prepare for the worst, but do prepare for your expiration.
Yes.
Because there is an expiration date. It is. And what do, right? Develop quality mentors in terms of business or athletes that you kind of dwell with or play with. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference too. And I think basketball, the mentorship within basketball, it's very, very different because you got like my OGs in the game. It was about how much money you had, what you drive, what you got. And you find yourself keeping up with the Joneses quite a bit, right? I got to have this car because that's what they drive. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I got to go buy. I didn't even drink at a time, like when I was younger. But I'm buying bottle service for other NBA players that got way more than me. But it was a thing to be seen in that way. Like, this is how we live. You got to have this much money in your pocket. You got to wear True Religions. You got to have an Ed Hardy shirt. You got to dress the part, look the part. So you're spending irresponsibly.
Yeah.
I had multiple cars, and I wasn't really in the city too often. And those same cars that I bought to impress everybody else got repossessed. So when you keep up with the Joneses in this business, overseas money and NBA money, very different money. Mm-hmm. And so I would see NBA guys in the summer. We hanging out, we're at clubs, we're doing our thing. They pull up in an Aston Martin. I got to get something. But my money is very different. And then where do you park it? Where do you put it? Are we thinking about the end? No one's thinking about the end when you feel like you have go time. Mm-hmm. That's like, man, I'm good. I'm still playing.
Yeah.
But it does. And then when it does, what do you do? Because now, let's say if you're one of the lucky ones to at least tangibly have tax-free 6 figures, what now? And if you don't have business sense, then you end up squandering it or just living by minutia until it runs out, which is also very depressing.
Yeah.
So depression hit for me when I knew I couldn't pursue my love for the game at that particular elite level. And then I became a glorified open gym basketball player, which kind of, it serves a fix. It gives you a fix
I know the
temporarily,
type.
But
it's not fulfilling.
It's not the same, and it's not fulfilling. And when you don't get a chance to retire, when you're not a person that says, I'm done and I know that I'm done within myself, I've given all that I have. When that doesn't happen for you and it's taken, or when it comes faster, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It's difficult. It's different for everyone. But man, you have to tap into other interests.
You have to.
Your hobbies.
Yes.
Your talents, other skills, because
100%.
You have them. Whoever's listening, you have it. You might be great at your sport. That's amazing.
100%.
But you have other talents, interests, and you are more than just a basketball player or a soccer player. And you need to start thinking. It's realistic.
Yep.
Because what was that quote? I loved it that you said something like go time. Like you think you have.
Just now?
Yeah.
I said.
You think you can? And you're like, I don't know.
I don't even know.
Repeat it.
Yeah, man. No, but I mean, I think it starts with even parenting. I think if you're a parent that has an athletic child, encourage the other sides of your children.
Yes.
The artistic side.
Yes.
Educational side. Musical side. Be the basketball player that has piano lessons.
Yeah.
Or just anything in between. That way, a child is grown to understand there's more than just that.
Exactly.
I have that and I have that and I have that, and be well-rounded within themselves to kind of know what they're made of.
Yes.
But some of us don't grow in an environment where we are able to have all of those surroundings and all of those things and have accessibility to all of the luxury items and the extracurricular things.
Yeah.
Some of us, we're not able to do piano lessons or have coaches and trainers,
right?
Because those things are luxury items. Those things are parents are investing into their kids at an early age to see what they will gravitate to. A lot of my kids are in the experimental phase of sports,
right?
And if it works, then it's like, okay, maybe we have something. But if it doesn't, it was just something to try. Well, I know that my parents didn't have the means to just do certain things. So some of us, in defense to those people like that, we kind of just take up the free thing, and the free thing is getting out to the playground, and whether it's kicking the ball around in the field or throwing a football or playing some basketball, like that's kind of where we are. And when you find some success in that, we just stick to that one thing, and that's the thing that's going to get you out of your circumstance. But if you're in a situation where you can, I always preach for parents to throw your kids in a lot of different things and see where they kind of gravitate to or what they can pick up on.
Yeah. I have a question. You mentioned that you or your parents or family, it was like, Jay's going to play basketball and he's going to get a scholarship and he's going to go pro. And this is, it almost seemed like, would you agree that they chose that for you? Or do you think you chose it, stuck to it, and did you love it?
Oh, no, not even. It was very opposite for me in that way. I think my dad is a jazz musician. So I grew up around jazz music. My dad plays the saxophone. My mom is a woman at the time that had me at 16, going on 17. So we grew up together.
Yeah.
My mother got a GED, just a street smarts chick, very very hood smart. Like my mom is very street smart, and my dad was just a kind of a nerdy music guy. So there were no real athletes in my family to kind of go to for any type of tutelage or anything like that. But basketball was the first thing that I gravitated to that made sense to me. And I just wanted to go as far as I could with that. Now, for me, I knew at probably 15, 16 that if this doesn't pan out, I don't know how I'm going to college. And I found out, it was funny. As kids, you don't really understand your upbringing until you see someone else's situation.
Yeah.
And I remember being in 10th grade, and I was talking to a friend of mine on the basketball team, and he was like, I don't really care if I get a scholarship to college. Like, my parents got a college fund. Like, I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna be able to go to school. And I remember going home. I was like, hey, Ma, such and such said they got some money in a college fund. And y'all got a college fund for me? And my mom was like, oh, we don't. And I realized at that moment, like, oh shit, every parent, they don't do that the same way.
Yeah.
Like, so if I can't make a way for myself to do something at the next level, then what? And that's when I really took sports seriously, because I just kind of felt like, yeah, all kids go to college. That's just what happens.
Yeah. And then
that's not the case.
It's not the case. No, it's
not the case at all.
No,
especially in my situation. So,
yeah, for me, I think not to an extent, like I could have gone to another college and I would have been, scholarship. So that's why, again, paying attention in school is important. Taking your academics is important. Taking your academics seriously is important because any scholarship money to college matters. And yeah, I went to college primarily for the scholarship. Yeah. The first school that I went to, because I transitioned out of it. And I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think anything is a mistake in my life. You learn something from everything. But I had that mentality as well. Like, Siobhan is going to play soccer. We invested so much in the youth, in the travel team, in private training, that this is the reward, getting scholarships, going off to school that way. Yeah.
Yep. That was my situation. So, everybody's life is a little bit different. I think I think it comes down to drive. And you can tell the difference. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even when we play certain teams, I can look at the warm-up line and I can take a look at each kid and how they approach the game. And I can look at my kids. I have a lot of Memorial kids, Katie kids, privileged kids.
Yeah.
But we're talented. These are the kids that train. My kids train all the time. They're in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
But I look at those kids and how they approach. It's dead serious. There's no jokes. There's no smiling. There's no laughing. Yeah. And I can tell just by the way they move, like, my kids are more talented. But those are the games we always have the biggest issues with. When I take a look at kids that have desire and they play as if this is my meal ticket.
Yeah.
Those are the toughest kids. I remember playing against a group of kids. This might have been a year ago. And we got to the court and the other team came in and, we look all good. We got the best uniforms and all that. We look damn good all the time. Look like pros. Then this team comes in white t-shirts that you could get, like Hanes white t-shirts with their numbers drawn in black marker.
And you knew they were going to be good.
My kids are like, look at this. They got nothing. And I looked and I said to myself, I'm like, they're going to kick our ass.
Yeah.
They tore us up. I said, they're going to kick our ass. Like, it's because they don't have the glitz and glam.
Yeah.
They don't have the material. They don't have all of the bright, shiny things. It's not about the shoes. It's not about it's this right here. And every single one of those kids are playing to get the hell up out of their circumstance. Third ward kids, fifth ward kids, just like tough kids, inner city kids. They eat us alive in terms of will, hustle, the things that you can control. They eat us alive. And I think that just goes back to everybody's reasoning, right? Your reason for trying to be successful might be different from mine.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a broke kid or come from a broke family to have success in sports. There are a lot of rich kids that do very, very well. But their desire within them is their own desire for whatever that reason is. I want to be the best because that's programmed in me.
Yeah.
I see my dad, who might be a successful business person, and those attributes have rubbed off in me. And so now I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I shoot 500 shots a day. I develop these good habits. I'm consistent with what I want to do. He could live in a mansion for all I know, but that particular kid has his own drive. That's his driving force. This kid might be the broke kid, like, man, I got to get to the league so I can buy my mama a house.
Yeah.
That is a big ass hunger. To play against a kid that's like, I got to get I don't want my mom to work no more. I don't know who my dad is. Never seen him. I eat. I watch my mom. She don't eat. Play against that kid. My kids eat every day. They don't know what it's like. My son eat every day. He don't know. I'm working on his last now. My son is in the same boat, and it's tough being at a certain point where I understand what that's like, seeing my mother not eat every day. And now I'm in a space where now, how do I get some of those energies to my son?
Yeah.
When my son is hitting me up, I'll show you a video after this is over. My son in the toy aisle, grabbing it was like $300 in toys. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, oh no, I'm getting toys. Business is good. He's 8. Business is good.
He said that?
I have it on video. I'm like, what do you mean business is good? In his world, my daddy got it. I get, no problem. And when I say no, he has an attitude. That's my son. And I'm trying to figure out the balance between what I had
Yeah.
and where we are now. And so it's kind of tough. But there are so many different reasons why someone has driving force. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody's reasoning is different, but man, you got to find it.
Exactly. And as a coach, you got to find what makes them tick, what makes them drive, and pull it out of them and try to see that every day.
You got to find it. You have to find it if you want to be successful in life.
Yes.
Period. Ball is life. If you want to be successful in life, then you have to figure out your why.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? That's it.
You have to have purpose and an intention.
100%.
Otherwise, truly, why are you doing this? It's the reason you get up in the morning at 5 a.m. Why? No one wants to do that.
Nobody.
I'm not a morning person, but I'm going to be there on time every time. Why?
Yep.
Because I have a goal beyond playing here. My limits, I reach my goal. What's the next goal?
It's high discipline. And I don't know how people develop that. What do you think? Is that innate? Is it taught?
Both. Could be. It could be taught. You could have, in my sense, I was very disciplined. My dad was on my ass. He's the type who is very structured, organized, on time. I'm not late for a single thing when dad's driving, when dad's in charge. Mom, I'm late for everything.
Facts.
You know, she's like, oh, no, it's going to be fine. No, whatever. My dad, I was taught to set my bag out the night before any tournament or game or something. Make sure I've got everything I need, my cleats, my shin guards, my socks, extra pairs as well. This goes into your pre-performance routine or just being prepared. Because if you're, failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
100%.
It's just so true. He's that way. He's regimented in that sense. He's disciplined. And he taught me that, but he's not like a military kid, he's not, I don't know what it is about him, but he instilled that in me. And when I didn't have him and I went to college, I was like, shoot, I got to rely on my roommate, which is another person that holds you accountable. That was helpful because I wouldn't say that I am a disciplined person naturally. I think that I've had a little push in the ass. And so when I was finally on my own and I was playing pro, I was like, dang, this is kind of hard. How was I doing this?
Yeah.
How was I doing? Who helped me? And you gotta hold yourself to a standard. I mean, the consequences severe enough? Are you gonna lose what you worked so hard for? And I think it matters on the consequence and it matters on your goals, because once you get to the pro level, no one's on your ass really. Like they are, but no one's telling you have to play.
Very true.
This is it becomes your career. You're playing. You're getting paid to play. And so this is life. At that point, that's probably your new motivator, is that if I lose this contract, I don't have a job. If I lose this contract, I flew across the world. I got to come back home. What do I do now? Yeah. It's finding your motivator,
Totally get it. I totally get it.
But for me, I struggled with discipline so much. And I got into, some phases of being depressed or being really upset and just trying to get out of it. And that is so hard to pull yourself out of as well. And so for me, I learned how to deal with myself and how to cope with that so I can pull myself out when I feel, oh no, I'm getting sucked into these bad habits. What can I do? For me, sometimes it was as easy as like writing a sticky note, keeping notes in my phones, telling my friends, hey, I'm struggling. I need you to check in on me. I need you to make sure I'm up. I need you to, I personally do need that. I need a teammate. And at some point in college, I was struggling with being disciplined. And I was like, I need to be my own cheerleader, because not everyone's going to be around you. Your dad's not going to be there. Mom's not going to, then just realistically, that person that was helping you or giving you the boot, they're not always going to be there. So you have to become that for yourself. And that is so important.
Sure.
It is so important.
Agreed.
You need to be your biggest cheerleader.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah. It was hard, but that realization was just like a flip of a switch. Because I was in the dumps. Like in college, I don't know what it was. I was so demotivated. I was just unhappy. And it was correlating into my performance, which had never happened for me before. Whatever happened in life, it switched off the second I stepped on the field. I was focused. I was locked in. But one point in college, I think it was junior year or senior year, and I would lose the ball and I just kind of stood there. I was like, ugh, and that's the worst. And that looks so bad because it's a physical response. People are seeing that. I remember my parents being like, what are you doing? It looks lazy. It looks disrespectful to your teammates, to your coach, to yourself. And that's not what I intend by it, but it's just like, dang, no one was telling me, come on, Siobhan, good job, you got it. Come on, try the next one. In fact, people are doing the opposite. It's like, why the hell are you doing this? Don't do that, you know? And it's not helpful. So I had to learn to be my biggest cheerleader, help with my self-talk. What am I saying to myself internally to help myself keep going? Because it's going to come a point in time, which it did come, where I'm in a different country. No one knows me. Mm-hmm. No one's really cheering for me. You need to cheer for yourself. You need to learn how to deal with yourself, how to talk to yourself, how to motivate yourself.
Yeah, that's big too. That's big too. Having that level of independence to self-start.
Yeah.
Self-start. That's one of the things I have an issue with my younger group too, is self-starting and sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things that I'm really trying to, as a coach, figure out how to perfect getting that tone across. Because sometimes we have failures based on sense of urgency. And I think at a certain demographic, they feel, oh, we got this, it's all right. We'll turn it on. We're okay. No. And just to kind of flip it back to my world, because I want to make sure that, you know, what I'm saying can resonate to people that were once in my shoes. I did go through a depression when I realized I could not pursue my love and what I felt at the time was my only gift.
Life. It was your world.
And life kind of began. It was a new chapter. I needed to understand sense of urgency. I had to understand discipline, which I wasn't as well. I told you the first time I wasn't big on focus. I would procrastinate profusely. And probably because I was good at things enough to get it kind of half-assed done, to get by. And I was good at getting by easily, but I never thrived to be excellent outside of basketball. So now I'm in this space where I'm in this game of life now where if you want to thrive out here, you have to be great. You have to be disciplined. And you have to move and shake every day with a sense of urgency to be where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Right. Outside of what my natural gift was, which was basketball, which I felt successful 99% of the time. Right. There are people that get the best of you on certain moments, but as a player, 9 times out of 10, I'm successful. Guess what I do?
Yeah.
Now I'm in this world where I don't have a fucking clue how to play this game.
Yeah.
It's like I was with me and my wife went to Miami, and I'm 39 and I'm playing Uno for the first time.
What? I love Uno.
First time.
Y'all need to play Uno with me, by the way.
It's too much. It's too many fucking rules. It's too much. And the way she plays is too much. We'll get into that later. But my point is, a game that seems so seamless to some people, right? Like you said, oh, play with me. I didn't understand. It was just so much. And then I got to do this. And then when I get close and there's like a draw that, then I got to keep drawing till I get that. And I can only do that with that color. And it's just a lot. But if you look at life, it's the same way. It's like there's a lot. Life is really not easy.
No, no way.
I think that people that are in their element, it can kind of come off as effortless.
Yeah.
That's if you're in your thing. You're in your groove. You're in your element. And even then, people show you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
Life for me was not easy. I had to learn who I am all over again. And reinvention of oneself takes a lot more than just you. And I was blessed to have beautiful people in my corner at the time when I needed a leg up.
Yes.
And it started with, I remember being in Los Angeles and I was sleeping in different public parks, Hollywood Park, different things. I would hang up my shirts around my car windows and I would just cry myself to sleep. And these are real true stories. I had to figure out how to groom myself. I had a water bottle that I would brush my teeth, wash out, spit. I would go to 24-hour fitnesses so that I could take a shower. I cut my own hair. I have been since I was in high school. So I knew if I can get a bathroom with a shower, I could take care of myself. But at 24-hour fitness, if you're not a member, you can't just walk into these clubs.
Yeah.
So that's why I developed my gift of gab on life. I would go into 24-hour fitness and I would give them my Texas ID, and I would make it seem as if I'm visiting a family friend and just needed like a trial period, 3 days. But then I would have to, and that third day, I would have to find another 24-hour fitness. So I would go in there and hey, how you doing? My name is Jamel Coleman. I'm here visiting my aunt in the LA area. I'm not looking to get a membership because I'm only going to be here till Friday, but I am looking to work out a little bit. Is there anything that I can do? My first couple of experiences with that kind of dry, wasn't that great. But the third, the fourth, the next one, so on and so forth. My pitch was perfect. So even in business, when it comes to my pitch, hey, how you doing? I'm Jamel Coleman. I'm here with the ranch office. This is what we have to offer. Like I got it. I understand pitching. I understand how to get someone's attention in 30 to 45 seconds. Too much more than that, too long.
Yeah.
I can get your interest and figure out what you're attracted to just within me or in our like-minded wavelengths to figure out, okay, similarity. Boom, got that. He's wearing a pair of Jordans on. Okay, I can talk about that. She's got this shirt that says New York City. I'm from Queens. Oh, you been in New York? Huh?
Yeah.
Just something to strike up something. So my pitch is solid. That's why I'm great at selling anything, whether it's business-wise, whether it's selling myself. But I learned that through trying to survive.
I was about to say, this is a survival mode trait.
These are survival tactics.
Exactly.
So that I could keep my ass clean.
Yeah.
Right. And then I realized at a certain point I can go to UCLA, and it was a lot easier there. And that became my domain. But at the end of the day, I had to figure out the gift of gab to get people to say yes or to win someone over, whether it's lying, half story, kind of lie, sort of lie.
It's fight or flight.
It's fight or flight.
It's survival of the fittest.
And so I understood individually, this is what life is. On a low level of homelessness or on a multimillionaire level, you have to figure out what you need to do to be where you want to be.
Yeah.
And it varies depending on where you are, but it's all the same, right? And then it takes people. You need people because you can't do anything on your own.
Correct.
It takes a support system.
Correct.
And as I'm in LA and I'm just miserable, a friend of mine hits me up. He lives out there. His name is Donald. And he hits me. He's like, "Yo, I hear you in LA, bro." I'm like, "Yeah." Now Donald lives there, and he's a fantastic artist. Donald has been a part of every major artist that you can think of, collaborations, Kanye West, the list goes on, Beyonce, like he's fantastic. But at the time, he was kind of in a transition period too, trying to figure out if he's going independent, doing his thing. Long story short, he hits me up, we catch up, get a bite, chill on Venice. And again, I don't know how transparent I can be. Goes back to transparency.
Yeah. Even
Even when I talked about with my bro Mike, just being real in a state where you want to seem alpha. Again, there's a lot of power in just being open.
Yes.
Even if the openness is brokenness, right? And we had a conversation. He was like, "Okay, yeah, we was getting ready to leave and we're departing." And I'm like, "All right, bro, give him dap." We pound out. "Hey, where you headed?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going back to Hollywood." "Sounds great, Hollywood." "Oh, okay, what's up? You on to Hollywood?" Well, in that context, I seem fine.
Yeah.
But I'm about to go sleep in this park. He said, "Where you staying at?" And that was the question I was dreading. It's like, fuck. And it just hit me. And I don't know why. Because sometimes I would lie. Easy. "Oh, my boy," I would do that quick. But this time it just hit me. Just be real, Jay. I'm like, "Bro, it's in my car right now, man." "What?" "I mean, I'm good though." He said, "Man, nah, I ain't gonna have you sleeping in your car, bro." Now, mind you, we're not like at the time the best of friends.
Right.
We knew each other through a mutual friend that we met in Houston. Now we're in LA in his domain. He lives there. I'm just out there. And off the strength of our first meeting, which was dope, which is why you got to treat people right. You never know what a first meeting will turn into. I could have been an asshole to him. I could have been acting funny when I met him. But because we had such a good first meeting, it was enough for him in LA seeing him months later to say, you know what, Jay's a good dude. Man, just come back to the crib, bro. It's not the Hilton, but bro, I got something for you. And man, I was able to go back to this guy's house, man, and he opened his home. I slept on his couch. He had a shower, a fridge, the little things that we take for granted every single fucking day. Those little things was massive. I felt like I was at the Waldorf. It was beautiful. And this guy opened up everything that he had, his life, his things, his valuables, his jewelry. What if I was a thief? What if I was, he just trusted me, and he just trusted the energy off of when we met the first time. And we just clicked. I motivated him through his acting, modeling, singing career. He motivated me through different things that I was doing. And I mean, years later, man, when I got my shit together and I got married, man, I called him up. I said, bro, you got to be in my wedding. I asked him to be he's one of my best men in my wedding. And to this day, that's my brother, man. But it takes people in your life that you have to be aware, and you have to see that, man, God will put angels in certain places, and it's up to you to have the discernment to know who to gravitate to, because you can't do anything on your own. So in this quick synopsis of different things, one, individual, independent chutzpah, right? You got to have that thing to say, all right, fight or flight. Some people lay down and die.
Yeah.
Then there's some of us that just say, you know what? I can't, not like this. But there was always a desire in me to be well off, rich, wealthy. I wanted it. I don't know why. I never really seen it. I felt like there's something in me that's like no different than these celebrities that I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, there's no difference than like me and like Drake and Chris Brown. To me,
they're a little more handsome.
Fuck out of here. Ask my mama that. Shit, you better ask my mama that. Let me call Kathy. Don't nobody look better than me to my mama. On another note, to me, and I've been around them. So when I'm at these like celebrity get-togethers, and I've met everybody. I mean, you name it. Any celebrity you could think of, I've been in these parties with these people. And I always walk around and they cater to me. Zac Efron, good friend of mine. At his crib, freestyling with Zac Efron. Man, I got so many stories. We got to do this again. We got to have a third show. Me and Zac Efron. And Zac is like, oh, you're fucking amazing. Sterling, all you guys, man. Look, Rob, y'all already know. Anybody that was at that party that night in Vanessa's house, Manny Pacquiao fight, they love me. Little old Jay. It's just something about me that has like, I'm something. I got that something. I just got to figure out how to unlock it. I'm something.
How'd you unlock it?
I'm still trying.
Oh.
I don't think that I've unlocked it. I think I'm successful. I know I'm successful. I do well. I got a lot of money. I got businesses. I'm not even at my top floor yet. I'm still trying to figure out what that thing is for me. And it's through these principles, the right social, the right network. Your net worth is a reflection of your network. The people around me, right? If you end up blowing up, and you best be damn, I'm going to call you one day like, yo, I want you to do this for me. I'll never ask you for no money because I don't need money. That's not what I don't need that. I need heart. It's never been about money for me. And I think a lot of people in today's age, they do things for money.
Yep.
Money is nothing. This is where the value lies in everybody. I know a lot of millionaire assholes that have a horrible life. They're miserable. I have a lot of money. That's not what it is, because I've been broke and I know the difference between the two. And I've had so many positive people in my life that couldn't really do anything for me, and I couldn't really do anything for them. But this was what the foundation was started from. And these are my bros and my sisters to this day off of this. Discernment on people in your life, discernment on what it takes to be successful, and having the drive to say, this is not it. I don't want to be here in this spot. I want to push for better. Faith without works is dead. Anybody that believes in biblical, and if you're a God-fearing person or a Christian and you understand the word of God, even God himself will tell you, faith without works, you can have all the dreams in the world.
Yeah.
If you don't get out there and get after it and try and fail and try and fail, that's where the blessing comes in. That's when God can say, okay, I see you trying. Now let me bring this person.
Yeah.
I see you trying. Let me help you with this. Step up. You know, and there are so many moments in my life where I tried and then someone was brought to my life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how business started. So to kind of go back to even the beginning, you know, how has Jay transitioned? I was a decent athlete. I was high level in terms of talent, but in terms of just, you know, career, I was subpar. But my love for, not even my love for, my desire to want more for myself is what carried me from that point after my depression. I remember my mother calling me and she was like, okay, Jay, that's enough. It's been 1.5 years. What we doing? Let's go. You get up. What we doing? And from that point, man, it was, okay, what am I good at? Let's get to know who Jay is.
We're in Houston.
Interrupting our shit. Right? It was figure out who I am. I know I can shoot a mean ass jumper, right? That's my thing. But you take that away from me, who am I? Pen, pad. Anyone that's looking for tips and gems on anything in life, you get a pen and pad. Even God's word says you write it down. Write it down. When you write things, I don't care if it's on your mirror, in your journal, you write it down. What do you want to get? What do you want to do? What are your tasks, desires, goals? Who are you? Jay, what are you good at? If you have 50 things, awesome. If you have 5 things, awesome. Right? We all have our own seeds. God gave us something.
Yep.
I had to figure out what mine were and then plant them.
Yeah.
I knew the game.
Yep.
I knew that I had something within me that is like next level. I'm next level. When I'm in these parties and I'm looking at these celebrities running up to me and there's something about me that makes them gravitate to me, I just don't know what that is. I can command attention. I know that. It's okay. I know that I have the aura. I know that I understand the game. I know that I love teaching. I love kids. Do I want to be a teacher? Well, damn, they don't make enough. No disrespect to any teacher. But for me, where my head was at the time, they don't make enough money. I want to control my own shop. Trainer. Could I be a coach? Possibly. I come back to Houston. My mom was going through some heart failures. And I found this journal in my mother's garage. And I opened it up and I write everything down. For years, I've written everything down.
Yeah.
And I came across this journal and it said, the PIT, P-I-T, professionals in training. And it was a goal and courts mapped out and a whole facility of what I wanted to do as a basketball dream.
You wrote this?
Drew it out, everything. And I wanted to invest my sports money into this thing one day. And I threw it in the garage, forgot about it for years. And I came across this thing and I was like, And I went, got my LLC started up. I said, you know what? I'm doing it. I made some phone calls. I was able to work with my very first client. Her name is Abby. She was in 7th grade. She was an adopted girl of this family friend down the street. And she was a lefty, little Asian girl. And she was really good. And I worked with her in the driveway for $40. And that's how my basketball program started. From a little girl down the street in her driveway. I had no basketballs. I had no business cards. I had no business goals. I went to her house and I said, hey, you have a basketball? She was like, yeah. I said, do you have any cones? No. I said, you have any sneakers?
Right.
Yeah. I said, give me a couple pair of shoes. So why is Jay saying this? Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
You don't need to have everything from A to Z mapped out to start. Just start.
I got this advice about my podcast. I was like, I don't have the mic. I don't have the software. I don't have this. I don't have a camera. Someone was like, you could literally use your phone and just talk into it. I'm like, well, but it's not gonna be good. I want quality. I want this. I want that.
Yep.
Like, I don't know everything. I want it planned out. I want to be organized. I want to prepare. They're like, just start. I had someone call me up. Shout out Eric Briggs. Call me up once every month. Hey, you gonna start that yet? Hey, you gonna start that yet?
Yep.
Just fucking start it.
Just go. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Just go. And I think so many people miss their mark because they're so tied up on what they think business is. Mm-hmm. Well, I got to get that set, and then I got to get that. Man, you can get a DBA. You don't even really need that. Be your name. Who do I write the check to? Jamel. That's who you write the check to. That bitch, it'll cash. Jamel. What's the company? Jamel. You don't need to have. Now, eventually you learn, you develop, you grow, but so many people are stagnant because they don't have business cards. Well, I can't start yet.
Yeah.
Why can't you start? I don't have any business cards.
I'm making mine right now. They're going to be beautiful,
Dude,
but
you're already doing it.
Yeah.
You're already doing it. And you know what? You know what you did? I'm going to tell you how God works. You went after it. You started. Now look at the stuff that he's blessed you with. Beautiful producer over there.
I know. So handsome.
Right. And he's so talented. And God will give you what you need.
I was just talking to him about this.
He'll give you what you need.
He will. And so to your point, you write things down. I journal, I write things down. I was smiling when you were talking because I wrote shit on my mirrors, on a sticky pad, journal, my notes, just because it's the forefront of your mind. You look at it. And I once went to a talk at my University of St. Thomas. It was an an ex-astronaut, Michael Fossum. He said, the first step in achieving your goal is telling it to somebody. But before that, you got to write it down. Yep. So write it down, look at it. It's there. You've got it out of your head and you're like, okay, no matter how crazy it is, write it down and then tell it to somebody because then you're holding yourself accountable. I told you, hey, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to start a podcast. Now that motherfucker's going to check on me once a month. I'm like, God, I wish I wouldn't have told him.
Yep.
But he did.
Holds you accountable.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And you pinpoint, like for me, another beautiful thing because it's crazy the way that our stories are very similar but very different. I wrote, I'm Catholic, and when I was 18, I had to write down like a mission statement to become confirmed. I found it like 8-9 years later, and I posted this on LinkedIn, but I am doing everything I said I was gonna do. It was a little vague at the time, but it was because I focused on my gifts from God. And I pinpointed, like, I think I'm a leader. I think I got this at 18. I think that I have a voice, which is part of leadership. I think I'm pretty funny and I can make people laugh. How can I use that in a positive way? And I can't remember. Oh, the other one, I love education. I love to learn. How can I use all these hard works of studying to do something better? If I just focus on these things that I've been gifted with and I resonate with and I care about and they're a blessing to me, just focus on doing that in some way and it'll happen. So I coach kids and I also love kids. That's continuing education for me. Mm-hmm. This podcast is continuing education. It's making people laugh. It's making connections. I'm a people person. You reminded me because you said you wrote it down and like kind of tossed it to the side. Mine was like in an old box. I was like cleaning up my room when I got home. Yeah.
That's nuts.
And it was in March, and we're in March right now. I think it's 10 years to the date, like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I got the chills.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'm telling you, man. It's some things are just not rocket science, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of I put forth that effort, and like I said, my first client was that young lady, and one kid turned to 5 turned to 10. Next thing you know, I'm one of the premier at the time trainers. Yep. In the Houston area before it became a fad, before it became the thing, you know.
You're the first one I heard of.
And I'm not knocking other trainers. I think there's some fantastic trainers out there. But I was just one of the originals. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's some Drakes out there. I'm like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm definitely Jay-Z.
And we have a mutual connection, Trey Pickney. He's also another one that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my youngins, man. It's my brother, man. Like Trey's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's a part of my program. He's in Miami now doing his thing. Mm-hmm. And I love Trey. He's always a part of what I have, always been a supporter of what I do, and vice versa. You know, I knew him when he was a young cat at Seven Lakes, man. So my mentorship has even spread kids at that, in your demographic.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel really old. But everything I learned through my company, The Pit, people thought Pitt was a part of my name. Like Coach Pitt, you Pitt, your last name is Pitt.
My
last name is not Pitt.
I truly thought that.
No.
I was like Jay Pittman. And I was like, what? You know, when we first started talking, I was like, what's your actual name? And what's your actual last name?
Yeah. So Pitt is not my name. It's professionals in training. It's a mindset, right? A pro in training. You're already a pro. Walk through the door, feel like a pro. Train like a pro. Think like a pro. You just need to develop that, right? So that was my concept of that. But man, it was fantastic. I learned so much through business that way.
Yeah.
How to fend for myself. Understanding that I'm in a business that is I don't want to say a dying business, but it's a constant, like, I'm always losing that particular client. So basically, if I get a kid on Tuesday and they pay me for a session, that's done. So now I got to figure out how to get recurring work. That's a task in itself. How do you get someone to constantly pay you for a service?
Subscription.
Every single week. Well, we can call it subscription, but how do you market that? How are you so good that makes someone say, you know what? I got to continue to pay for this. And that was my challenge at the time, right? My business is constantly revolving. So I said, okay, just because I got comfortable with this week's work, I got to get next week's work.
Yeah.
And then I got to get next week's
That's
work.
entrepreneurship. I'm in that right now.
100%.
I'm in the thick of it.
Training taught me so much because it's not a consistent thing. It's not like I have something that's a well-oiled machine that you pay me and it's ongoing. It's not ongoing. I'm constantly working myself out of a job. Always. Right? And every business that I've started is like that. Construction, whatever, you get paid to build a house, and then the house is built, and guess what? It's done. You gotta get another house to build.
Yeah.
You know, so in this business of kid training, every day is a new situation. So for me, you know, that taught me so much just about how to market, how to move, how to shake, understanding paperwork, documents, right? Understanding how to invoice, understanding like just all of those things. So the Pit was very, very valuable for me.
That's beautiful.
In many ways.
I love that it's come full circle for you.
Yeah.
And that, again, you can tell that you're not complacent because you're still saying right now that you're evolving, that you're still learning, that you haven't hit your potential yet.
No, not even a little
That's
bit.
incredible.
I would love to continue giving gems. I feel like God is working, but I'm looking at that clock at 49.
You're good. It's
you know
fine.
you can't talk to me for 40 minutes. You already know you can't talk to me for 40 minutes.
It's been fun.
You already know. Can I
Yeah,
continue?
no, you're good.
Because I just feel like it's so much that I want to be able to, like I said, I want to be able to help people develop into their true selves. And there's so many things that I've done where it was operated on faith. There was no foundation. There was no safety net. And the gems that I had to kind of learn on the fly could be given to someone right here on the spot. And all they got to do is practice it, you know? But yeah, the business of training taught me everything. And I even learned money and what money can do, what money means, how to invest it, how to hold it, how to park it. Do you just save it? Do you save it cash? Do you save it in savings? Do you save it as investment stocks? What's the right way? Well, you need someone to kind of teach you what that is. And I don't think that there's any right or wrong way. I think it just depends on the person's circumstance, right? Because there are some people that can't afford to invest that way. And so maybe $1,000 in a shoebox under the bed might be their way. And that may work for the time. Over time, in terms of longevity, that's not the way to do it. And there are a lot of trainers that live like that. You know, if you're able to take $50 and put into a high yielding account and allow those dollars to make more dollars, that takes discipline. That takes sacrifice. When you have a level of success, and some of these trainers and other people in small businesses are, but they're spending like they're successful. I was spending as if I was still that kid in that Isuzu rodeo while I was making pretty decent money. And so when I pop up with something new, people are like, dang, man, you balling. Well, no, I was driving my wife's car driving her to work, using her car before buying my own car so I could stack and stack and stack.
And I appreciate you being honest and humble about this because
absolutely,
we talked about this last episode, but it's the ego kills.
Man, absolutely. You know, and that's what I did until I knew I can get my own. And then the car that I bought myself was an SL Benz. But they don't know.
That day must have been so nice.
What? Because I knew that was like, I earned that shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much more gratifying when you've earned it. Because
as a man, sometimes you feel like a loser. Like, man, I don't have this, I don't have that. But the discipline, again, athletic, right? Being disciplined. All of my friends are going to the movies. I have a game in 2 days. I've been off. I have 2 choices. What would Kobe do? Hey, I'm going to catch up with y'all. Hey, bro, you ain't going, man. There's some hoes out here. I'm going to try to meet up with y'all. What do you do? How do you live? You have a business with a DBA. You're making a couple dollars here and there. I know some trainers that got a lot of kids coming in, but you're getting paid per head. There's only but so many per heads you can continue to make or continue to have. And then in that business of training, I realized at an early time frame that my age and my youth is a selling point to this business. And as you age, you're dying off because these younger kids are coming in with more flash, more flair, more technology.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest things. As I started to grow in this business and I'm the dominant, I'm the Jay-Z, but then the Drakes are starting to come. And whether I felt like I was better than them or not is irrelevant. They were able to get clients.
Yep.
They were able to have consistent clientele, gym space, but they had this thing called cameras and edits, and it was the way that basketball training was changing, and I couldn't adapt to that. So I talked about it in a way of like, that shit corny, man. Instead of understanding this evolution of the business.
Yeah.
You could talk about anything in that regard and see evolution of anything. That's the evolution of the business. And it's either I get down or lay down.
Yeah.
So I knew that, I have to figure out my next phase or I'm going to die as an old man, bitter, because these young kids are coming in savvy.
Coming in hot.
There's nothing wrong with savvy and hot. There's nothing wrong with that. I just felt like that wasn't for me. So I was envy about it and upset with it. Like, this is tarnishing the business.
Yeah. Instead
of getting on board, like, that shit is actually cool because I could, market to more people if I did this through social media. It's actually a smart tactic.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing great work. But I also understood, like, okay, I know what's for me and I know what's not. I am a hardcore, on the floor trainer. I'm serious about what I do. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I started looking for other opportunities, and that's when real estate investing kind of played the part for me. If I can take you down that path. I started a construction firm. I did rehabbing on residential homes, multifamily properties. That was my first kind of realm into my own construction thing. I did everything from drywall, sheetrock, remodels to janitorial.
When did you start doing that? What year?
My first janitorial company was actually when I was in high school.
Okay.
But when I kind of got serious in it, it was like right around the time what was the last hurricane that we had?
I was about to say, Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey.
I was going to ask that's perfect timing if you had started doing that and then you said sheetrock and I was like, I remember smashing my walls and my house flooded.
Yep. I was actually going around that Grand Lakes area helping a lot of people in that particular area of Katy. And my company did a lot, mom and pop stores, different things. But I mean, I kind of gave myself a new, a new feel on something that I was good at. It was a feel for me, like, ooh, like my spidey sense is tingling here. Like I'm good at this too. This was one of the first times I felt like outside of basketball, there was life for me. Like, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
This thing called business. It didn't matter if it was construction or selling bubble gum.
Yeah.
For me, it was, I'm pretty good at getting in front of people and selling a product and knowing my shit and, you know, going over A to Z, what I provide and this service and blah, 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 and then being able to actually get it done. So like I really fell in love with business during that time. And then from there, it was just, it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful
And then I
feeling.
became a serial entrepreneur and I started everything under the sun.
Yeah.
From the
Tell us what you
construction,
do.
the janitorial. To this day, I own Final Touch Services.
Okay.
We are a GC, mid-level GC, general contractor.
Thank you.
I do everything from janitorial to basic construction needs, sheetrock, drywall, flooring, cabinetry, millwork, you name it. I don't do MEPs. MEPs is mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Okay.
Those are more service stuff. But I have subcontractors if I need to get those big line items. But I'm more of the basic remodel guy. So I have that. I have a transportation courier service. I started that as well.
Okay.
And I did everything myself. And I'm just a guy that has network, right?
Yeah.
I got a phone call from a friend of mine. He's like, yo, Jay, I know you connected with everybody, bro. I'm looking for somebody that could drop something off for me. You know anybody that do like delivery driving? I'm like, this is random as hell, but no, not really. What do you need dropped off? He's like, bro, I'm just trying to get this dry ice to Mississippi. I swear to God. I said, what? There's the randomest shit, right? I'm trying to get dry ice to Mississippi. I said, well, shit, how much you, something like that? He's like, man, it's like $1,200. I said, motherfucker, I'll drive that shit to Mississippi. And he looked at me and he laughed and he was like, bro, just get your paperwork, set it up, get an LLC, bro, do it. I said, how long? 2 days. Man, I went in my little office in my room, typed up everything. I made it as a subsidiary under my umbrella of Final Touch. So now Final Touch has a transportation line. So Final Touch on transportation. So I became a courier in 24 hours.
Cool.
And I took at the time, my wife had this red Honda Accord. And I was like, yo, hon, let me take this car. You got the better gas mileage than my truck. I put a box in the back seat of dry ice that was like waving out the back. And I drove to Mississippi and back in a day. Swear to God.
What was the dry ice for?
Like
Was
medical.
it like Halloween? You said
No,
medical?
medical.
Oh,
It was
okay. Sorry.
this particular supplier, they sell medical materials and supplies.
Okay.
Syringes, needles, packages, blood, anything, organs, donor stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And and a courier service was born.
Courier service, construction. What else?
Yep. So now I have drivers that do my delivery services all through Houston. And for me, it's not about making $1 million with one thing, but it is about supplement income. Because if this entity can pay for my cars, I'm winning. If that entity can cover my overhead, my home, my bills, I'm winning. If that entity can cover my vacation, my trips, my Vegas, I love Vegas, I'm winning. Right? Instead of it coming from one source, one payment, take that out for savings, take that out for grocery, take that out for, it's hard to live that way. And most Americans do.
Yeah.
I believe you have to have a side hustle in 2024. I just do. And so for me, my life is all about checking checks and balances, different things. How much is this making? How much is this making? How much is this making? It's about dollars and cents for me now. Passion is in there as well, but it's about dollars and cents now. I'm a dude that if I know that I can make supplement income doing something, I'm almost hooked at starting it. And that's where my serial entrepreneurship comes in, because I don't have a passion for delivery.
Yeah.
I could care less
Right.
how you get something. I don't give a fuck. But if you look at how much Amazon is worth as a company,
Yeah.
right? Who cares about how something gets to one? There's no real like, oof, I love to drive. Now, some people do enjoy driving.
Yeah.
But for me, the
hear you.
logistics of it, I could care less. But knowing that this can be something that can cover this particular thing financially for me, I love that. And I love business. Again, I told you I love deals.
Yeah.
That's the turn on for me. That's where my excitement comes in. So it's kind of like, that's how my avalanche effect of business kind of started. One thing that someone needed an opportunity or gave me an opportunity, And I just went for it. Again, I'm a person that says yes.
Yes.
I'm going to go for it.
Here I am saying yeah. Same.
Yeah.
We're risk takers.
100%.
Because again, comes back to you learn more from failure than you do from winning.
100%.
You do it wrong. How can I do it right? This worked. This didn't work. It's all about trial and error, of course.
Yep.
I had a question that came to mind. You do life coaching, obviously. Do you charge for your services?
If it's a big, like if I do U of H business students or TSU, like yes, okay. There's a contract fee for that. But man, if you just catch me on a Thursday
or on the podcast,
I'm chilling, yeah, man. Like
write this down,
man. I'm an open book, and I enjoy. My story is so, and I don't want to say rags to riches, but like, but kind of, sort of. Like, yeah. You know, like I totally understand that I'm not sitting here on this couch as some celebratoric figure. I'm just Jay. But man, the things that I've done, like my life is fantastic. It's so beautiful, man, because I have inserted myself in so many realms of things that places I shouldn't be. I just shouldn't have it. I don't have a degree. I didn't graduate, whether that means something to some people or not.
It does.
Some people feel like, you have to get a degree to be successful. Some people that's their thing. Like, I just want that for my family or for myself. Mm-hmm. But like, there are some people that feel like, man, I don't have a degree. I'm a failure. Man, I don't have a degree. I left school. You know, and at one point I'm looking at my friends that I graduated with and walking across the stages of my sister, getting her, you know, her graduation up and her degrees and magna cum laude and all these amazing things. I'm like, damn, I wonder if I let my family down. You know, I wonder if I felt like that for a long time. And here I am speaking to business students at U of H with no degree. Hell, and they looking at me in my face like, what do I do next?
Do I drop out?
It's a beautiful thing. And I would never tell somebody to do that. Of course, you're not saying that. But I mean, it's like, I will not fail. I won't fail. And whatever I need to do to get it within a legal realm, I'm going to get it. And everything that I've done has been real, has been taxable. And shout out to those that, you know, do what they do. I'm not against that either. But for me, man, hard fucking work. In trendy, kind of weird ways. But man, I've learned so much through business and trying to figure things out. And again, meeting Michael was big for me because I was able to do all of the tweaks and do the right things within the companies that I owned that were not tight. He taught me how to tighten them up.
If I recall, Michael is an athlete.
Yes, he is. He is.
Michael, if you're listening, you're getting an inquiry soon.
Yeah. Mike is an athlete. Yep. And he's brilliant, man. And I think his academic and discipline and wanting to learn. He's a person that craves learning.
I feel I resonate with that.
He loves learn. Like, he's like, I'm gonna learn German this year.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Weird shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, Mike. Yeah, he's just like that. He speak like Spanish people will come. Like, we'll have like different Spanish speaking people come to the office, and they're like, español no inglés, and I'm like, oh, muy
Michael.
poquito. I'm like, and before I even knew, I'm like looking for somebody that speaks Spanish in the office. I'm like, and then Michael come out, and they're like, mi no inglés, and he's like, man, no me gusta. I'm like, what the fuck? Mike speaks fluent Spanish.
Does he?
What? Shit, man. I'm like,
you're like, of course he does.
He just shocks he'll blow your mind, man. He'll blow your mind. But he's just like that. He's like, I'm gonna learn German this year. And he'll sit there with his little language stuff like, I'm like, yo, you're fucking. I'm like, Mike, man. That's my hey. But I'm the older I get, I'm learning how to figure out my way of doing that. What's my way? Like, right? Like, I'll be damned if I sit and read a book. Really?
I love reading.
I don't have the time, but I will listen to audibles though. Because
okay.
I drive with no radio anyway. So I'm constantly feeding myself with different things. And by Audible, by way of that, thank God for that creation, because I've read
I'm about to say
so many books.
Okay, fair.
It's damn right it's fair.
No, I mean, I love a good book. And I recently, only last year, got a Kindle because I love having an actual book.
Yeah.
way that books smell.
Yep.
I love holding it, whatever, just flipping the pages.
I'm telling you.
But whenever people are like, I've read so many books because I was on a road trip, I'm like, oh, cheaters.
Yeah,
but no, it's
whatever.
not cheating. It's the same thing. You're still getting the information.
Man, I mean, like, but books like 48 Laws of Power. I love books that help you with your mental and winning over and how to get what you want, how to manifest. And that's a tricky thing because people think manifestation is like magical. It don't work that way.
No, it's
But
real.
I do believe there's power in what you say.
Yes.
There's power in what you feel and think.
Yes.
That's absolutely
I knew
true.
you were going to say that.
Absolutely true. But some people are like, I'm manifesting a Bentley. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You have to believe that you can do it, but really jump out there and go for it. And I'm the person that in my life, if you look at my world and people are enamored by me and what I have and what I do and how I live, but I input myself, I placed myself in these environments to figure it out and to work my ass off. You know, and one of the biggest compliments, even my wife was just like, she told me the other day, she said, "Yeah, I'm so proud of you, man, because you do so much without complaining about anything. You work so hard. And whatever this family needs, you get it done." You know, my parents, I take care of my parents. Like I'm the guy where like my dad will come to me for finance, you know, and certain finances and just different things. And I mean, I'm in that space. So it's not just me, it's not just my household. It's like I'm that guy. So for me, I'm always looking for something to keep our foundation strong.
Yeah.
You know, if my sister needs anything, then my sister can call me. Her big brother's got her. If my little brother needs anything, his big brother got him. You know, of course, my family, my kids, my mom and dad, they also know like we lean on our oldest son. You know, and it's just that's the space that I'm in. So not only do I enjoy business, but it's also something that like the desire continues to push me.
Yeah.
Because I'm so heavily needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's I could do a hell of a lot more with the money that I make, but I also understand that there's more that need what I bring in. And I think that's a big part of why I'm successful. Because I'm not like, I need to stop saying this, I'm not like the smartest guy, because I'm highly intelligent. I think if you listen to me speak, you know I'm intelligent.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the reason why I'm successful is because God knows that I'll share. So I think in his mind, if I can think like God maybe for a second, in a weird way.
I got you. I'm listening.
I'm going to give Jay 10 because I know they'll have 5. I feel like it's like that. What I give him, he can help a community.
Yeah.
What I give him, it'll be for him.
That's beautiful. I know what you're saying.
And that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Because why me? But why not me? But why me? I don't know.
Yeah.
But because anybody that's around me, and it's not just money, it's just knowledge. It's energy. It's time spent.
It is.
It's tears. I'll cry with you, laugh with you. You know, like that's the person that I am. And so I think goodness comes into my life in different forms of favor, because if you need it, Chevs, call. And not to put your business out there, but you hit me the other day and was like, my car was towed.
Taylor.
Right? This was a few days ago, right?
Yeah.
The very next text after that, yo, you good? You need anything? What you need?
Yeah.
It's real stuff. See, people talk, but they don't really, like, people talk a good game, but mine is for real. What you need? Oh, I'm fine. I'm like, is it expensive? You need anything?
It hurt.
I'm good.
I deserved it though.
I'm good. But my point is like, that's how I am,
Mm-hmm.
especially with my people. It's like, yo, I got you. What you need? Now, sometimes I could be taken advantage of. And as a person, you have to learn how to decipher between someone taking advantage and someone needing you. And I think that I'm one of God's people, man, which is why my life is the way it is. It's so beautiful, man.
You were blessed because he knew you would bless other people.
I believe that.
I believe
that.
I
I believe that 100%. Because I have no idea how I'm here.
And everybody's blessed. So don't think that you don't have a blessing. Don't think you
Doesn't
don't
mean
have
that
skills
I'm
or
better than anyone.
correct. Everyone has something.
Absolutely.
It's a matter of how you're going to use it.
Yep. I'm not better than anybody. I just know that my path is as beautiful as it is because I'm a giver. So if you want to be successful, guys,
Amen.
give. And that's not just money. Everything in life is not about finances.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very minuscule, very small. Money means nothing. It's a tool.
Yeah.
Money is a tool. Use your tool as you would a hammer. A hammer is just a hammer. Nothing.
I love this. This plays into my mental skills that I, teach other people the mental skills of self-talk, of confidence, of preparation. Those are tools that I'm just equipping you with. You already have them. We're just perfecting your craft so that you can use your tools to better yourself, your mind, and to better others.
That's it.
Someone told me the other day, one of my athletes, oh, this is all thanks to you. And I was like, no, it's not. This is thanks to you. I was just telling you, I was just giving you a worksheet to do, a training, a skill, an example. You did that. That was all you. But that was so fulfilling that I got to use my tools, help him sharpen his. And they're already finding
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And again, I accredit, my life to so many people, man. So many great people in my life. I feel I have to mention just a few.
Yeah, let's end on a shout. Yeah, go ahead. End on your shout outs, end on your advice to others. I know we've given a lot of good info, but
I have to name a few people, man.
Write this down if you're listening.
It's there are a few people that make you want to be great. Okay. And I think even as athletes, we're able to look at someone on a flat screen and go, LeBron, I'm gonna work hard. Like Steph Curry, watching him makes you want to get in the gym. For me, the first person that I can think of that made me want to really get to a next level in life in terms of success, finances, it's a good friend of mine. His name is Alex Maturo. And I always tell Alex, like, he's such a humble dude, but I met him by way of working with his kids. But Alex was he was Spanish guy, good looking dude, pulled up in different cars, just was fly. Like, somebody that's just like cars always clean, always washed, always. I just like, that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to Vegas and we trying to figure out how we gonna have a little bit of fun with, all the little monies that we got. He's like, let's put on the Amex. I'm like, damn it. Like, I just wanted to be like Alex, and I think that's super dope, having a rabbit that you want to chase without being envious, without being secretly jealous. I promote having solid friends that you can be happy for winning in a better space than you, and you can be on the losing end of that friendship and be so happy for the person that you see in your life. And that's very, very rare.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people that have friends with people that have found their niche. God is sprinkling something on them, and so they're evolving in a way, and maybe your sprinkle hasn't come yet. Doesn't mean that you won't get it. Mm-hmm. It's just not your time. You're still perfecting something. Mm-hmm. But that friend of mine, and there was something in me that was never like, damn, he think he all that. Or like secretly jealous. It was like, hell yeah.
And you'll know.
Hell yeah. Like, he would pull up in a new Maserati, pick me up. I'm like, oh shit, bro, pick me up. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm just so happy for his wins were my wins.
Yes.
And I think when you can be around someone and genuinely be happy for their successes, there's a lot that can happen in that. There's a lot of magnetic force that can happen. Yeah. When God can see you can be happy for where you are, because he's got you where you need to be for a reason. So don't shit on that. Don't shit on that, because God's got a plan for everything. Mm-hmm. He's working on this, and maybe sometimes he's not. Like, some people are looking like they're very God-driven and God ain't got nothing to do with it. So you can't get caught up in the holy roly, right? But with certain people, it's God-driven. And for me, man, he was the first guy to just make me feel like I want to be rich. And I worked my ass off because of his energy. And I thank him so much for that. And I think I do quite a bit. Another guy, man, recent, and even Alex introduced me. And this is another thing about good friends, man. Alex introduced me to one of his closest friends.
Yep.
And his name is Toby Cole. And I mentioned Toby to you. One of the most successful individuals I personally know, who's also a quadriplegic. paralyzed from the neck down, and is richer than all of us. It's not nothing to do, and not money. Rich, rich. His life is so full of love and people and support, and he's a attorney, and he's great at what he does, and he's fantastic.
Will you tell us? You mentioned something to me off air. Would you repeat it? You said that it was like he has one thing, and I
asked him. I said, Toby, he's the happiest person you ever meet in your life, and he can't move anything neck down. And us being so spoiled to have all of these functions, I said, how are you so happy, bro? You're the happiest person I know, man. Like, he said, what? He said, man, I'm rich. Look at you guys. He said, I got people that'll take care of me all day. People that love me all day and let me know that they do all day. He said, man, I love my life. I said, how did you become so successful? He said, well, I never wanted to be an attorney, but when I realized that this was the only thing that I had access to, I used it. And I read and I focused and I studied, and this was the muscle that I could control.
Yes.
And it's funny that we have all of these things that we can control, yet we focus on the bullshit. Who you're mad at, who you're jealous of, who said what, who did what. All we got to do is focus on the little things and really put some real drive into something. And I had that man come and speak to my AAU kids. And he came in his wheelchair and he spoke, and they were just looking like, and he asked them the first question. He said, how would you guys feel if you woke up tomorrow and you could never do or use what you have to play this game and you can never play again? They don't even think that way. Who does? You had an ACL, right?
Yeah.
And imagine that sets you back.
Yeah.
But you know you can get back. It's crazy. So it's all about mind. So I learned very mental, like, gems from him in terms of how to fight through something mentally, how to fight through fatigue. I'm in a position where I could wake up or stay asleep or call my own shots or whatever. Like you said, in terms of the pro level, no one's on you like that. In my life right now, no one's on me like that. So how do I stay sharp? Mental. How to get up. When I'm tired, when I'm down, when I'm depressed, if I'm hurt, I'm still human. How do I fight through that? If I have focus issues, and I do, how do I really get the knowledge from this book that I've been desperately trying to read for the last 3 days? Focus, Jay. Focus. Key in on it. Turn Netflix off. You can't do both.
We're so similar.
Dial in. So being able to dial in, I've learned from him. And there's so many along the way that have just been there for me and kind of gave me eye openers. But those are two men that I know in my trajectory of going up, I've pulled from the both of them in different ways because they both changed the way I thought about life. And again, if you're looking to be successful in anything, find someone that is successful at it. And not at that particular business, but successful at being successful. That's an art. It's a practice. It's no different than a jump shot or kicking that ball inside that goal. That's something that you practice. And if I, a novice person, were to watch you play soccer, I would be in awe of everything that took you years to do at that one moment currently. You're not a badass out there because of that one day.
No.
That was 12 years old, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
So when I watch people that are in their form of greatness, it took them years to get there. And that's another thing. I'll end it with patience, right? You don't do anything in a day. It doesn't happen overnight. Even when I tell my kids, we'll work on shooting. And we've been working on it for 2 weeks. And they're off. But I've been shooting, coach. I'm like, bruh, you know how many misses you're going to have?
Yes.
Before you start to have success making shots consistently?
Yes.
Dude, it doesn't happen overnight. We're working on practices. We're working on rhythms and forms and adjustments. It takes time. And in life, some people hit the lotto and they're big fast, but then that comes with a challenge of being able to keep it.
Yeah.
If that's your world, no problem. Then there's people like me
And me.
that have to go through years of trial and fucking error.
Yeah.
Of figuring it out. What was right, what was wrong, what works, what doesn't. How do I need to be, what do I need to say? Got it, finally. And then still deviate from there.
Yep.
So people look at Jay's life now
How do I get there?
and they don't know the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that my family, that we were eating to be in a space that I'm in now. They don't know about the car that I had to sleep in to turn into the man that I am now. So if you're on your journey, I need you guys, I want you guys to love the journey that you're on. The journey is the part that's so beautiful because
Yes.
even if it's shit, it's the thing that me and you can look back on and go, man, but that was so funny because then I broke my foot and then and we can laugh at the shit.
Yeah.
But going through it, it's the worst moment we've ever had in our lives.
Amen.
But your ACL is the reason why you're learning your voice in this podcast, and you have the time and the space to be a dope-ass yoga instructor, where you have the Texans coming to see you and NFL players coming to meet you, and you will become this particular badass and whatever is going for you. That doesn't mean you can't go back to soccer. It just means now that you have the space to acquire more. And then eventually we'll have a conversation over dinner, and we're like, remember when my ACL blew out? And it'll be a joke.
I know.
So the hell that we go through will be the joke that we talk about later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's the stories that, like, sometimes we feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, man. And it's
There is. And we're not even at
Always.
the end of our tunnel.
not even close.
No. But I tell athletes this all the time. And I'm an athlete. I have to remind myself,
Yeah.
it's about the journey. It's about right now. You can't focus too much on the future.
Yeah.
You can hope and dream and wish for it and work towards it. But you can't put too much stress on it. Past, can't change it.
Yep.
You can learn from it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the present moment.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy the journey, even if it's shitty. What can you gain from that shitty situation?
It's
What
always
did it
something to
teach
learn.
you?
Yep. Always something to learn. It's life is a beautiful thing, man. And I think the faster you understand yourself,
Yes.
even before business, right? Don't go into entrepreneurship, go into independency. And if you're a person that always needs to have somebody around, be independent for a minute. If you're someone that needs to if you're a serial dater, spend some time alone. If you need social, yo ass.
Don't look at
If you
me.
need social all the time and friends all the time and going out all the time, spend some alone time to figure out who you are, because those are going to be the things to help you figure out where you may need to maneuver, And I think that's the beauty of life, man, is that we all are destined to be something.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one that's born here to be a piece of shit.
No.
Nobody.
No.
You have your set of seeds.
Correct.
You have your environment.
Yep.
You have the people that you're coming from. Now you got to make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all destined to be whatever that God line at the end of God's plan. He's got this for us right here.
Get out.
Some of us never get that. We never get that because we don't do the soul searching or the sweat equity or the hard work.
And if you don't do it intentionally, don't worry. It's going to happen when you least expect it.
Yes.
And it's going to hit you like a wall.
But what if I'm 30 and it's okay. Some people find their thing at 45, 50.
Mm-hmm.
Some people find that you just enjoy the path. You enjoy learning yourself. You enjoy creation, right? Starting a business is one of the most beautiful experiences that a person can have. It's birthing something. You are giving birth to an idea
Yeah.
that you can actually see turn into something.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's very rewarding.
So rewarding.
Hard work, but rewarding.
So rewarding. It's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
right? And so, man, just learn yourself. Don't be afraid of challenges and being afraid of what you think failure is.
Take the risk.
You may not be good at it right away, but if you feel an inkling, if you feel your seed bubbling, say yes. Give it a shot, and you'll be surprised, man.
Yeah.
Life is beautiful. You just got to go for it.
It is beautiful.
Yep.
Amen. Thank you so much, Jay.
Very welcome.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this one to air. If you're listening, we will drop a link so you can connect with Jay or myself. We're here, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm speaking for both of us.
If you need me, I'm always here if you need me. If you have somebody that want to sit, I will sit with them, and we can do a consultation right here. No cost. That one's for free.
Yeah. But thank you so much. Seriously, I'm again very thankful and grateful for our connection. Thankful that you're here sitting on my couch right now. Not my couch, Taylor's couch. Thankful for Taylor.
Shout out Taylor.
Taylor's the best. My producer is amazing. This quality, this sound in your ear right now,
Facts.
It's Taylor.
Salty.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Make that an E flat T.
Oh my God. Yeah. Again, thank you so much. So appreciative for you. So grateful for you. If anyone's looking to connect with Jay, we'll drop his information below.
Sweet.
And if you are listening and wondering what's next, we're going into a new month of April. We are from Texas, so we're going to go ahead and honor Taylor's alma mater and do an A&M April series with former A&M athletes. So stay tuned. Happy Thursday, and thank you as always.